Last night, I finished Red Dead Redemption 100% on my PS5 on the quote-unquote new edition of the game. So I figured why don't I come on here and share my thoughts on how the experience was for that $50 price tag. Let's get the basics out of the way first. On PS4, you'll have the game pushing for 4K 30 FPS, especially on the PS4 Pro. On PlayStation 5, it will always be 4K 30 FPS, and on the Nintendo Switch, when you have your Nintendo Switch docked, it will be 30 FPS and 1080p resolution. And in handheld mode, when you're just running around town and trying to be a cowboy in some kind of dark alleyway or something because your mom kicked you out of your house or whatever, it will be 720p and 30 FPS. And obviously this is all according to our friends over at Digital Foundry. Because, you know, they have all the data and I don't have the tools, so I just had to get it from them. Hey you! Are you liking Grand Theft Auto 5 but are a bit bored of GTA Online? Well, I got the perfect thing for you. Grand RP. In Grand RP, you get to do all kinds of wonderful things, such as this. And also, this. Signing up is easy. All you have to do is just fill in your character's name, your email, and your password. And there you go. You're registered and can now start playing Grand RP. It's just that easy. So join myself and thousands of others in the wonderful world of Grand RP by using my link in the description down below. Thank you Grand RP for sponsoring this video. There's also a new anti-aliasing mode that will make the game look a little bit better on the PS4 version of the game, but aside from that, the experience will not be any different than on the Xbox One X or the Xbox Series X and S via backwards compatibility. In my opinion, there is very little to no difference between the Xbox and the PlayStation version of this game, purely because of the fact that they are running in the same resolution and same frame rate, really. The anti-aliasing mode is nice, but unless you're one of those super tech-savvy people that will notice it, I don't think anyone is going to. New anti-aliasing is nice, but I don't think everyone is Digital Foundry that they're going to zoom in on every pixel to see how smooth they actually are. In general gameplay, I don't think you really notice it. They also claim that the shadows are a little bit better on the PS5, but you know, like who's really going to notice that in general gameplay? At least in my opinion. If you're someone who really cares about that, then I guess you get your answer for the video. So is there anything new here? No, there isn't. If anything, they removed multiplayer, and well, aside from that, it's the same game that you might have played before. It plays like you remember, and it also has very little to no bugs, and honestly, I was just happy with the fact it was a smooth experience throughout. Which says enough about the gaming industry as a whole, that we have to start making mentions about whether or not a game is actually playable and doesn't have too many bugs. But that's an entire different discussion as a whole. I did have a few bugs though that made me relaunch the game to fix them, but overall I'm kind of willing to put that down to just regular game bugs that happen regardless of how polished the game is or not. Nothing really that became too bothersome or made me lose progress or anything like that. It was just smooth sailing to 100% without any issue. Especially when playing on PS5 where the load times are nice and fast, having to relaunch the game really was no problem at all. I'll spare you the review of Red Dead Redemption itself. You've probably heard about a billion times from your friends and anyone on the internet really how much of a great game it is over like the past 13 years, so I'll spare you all my points about it. It's still a great game, and yeah, it's gonna be janky after you've played Red Dead Redemption 2, and it definitely feels like a step back in some ways of Red Dead Redemption 2 as well, but it's still one of those must-play games for those folks who haven't played it before, especially if you want to know how Red Dead Redemption 2's story continues. It's a game that definitely shows its age in terms of how the missions are structured and how it kind of feels more like a GTA game in terms of storytelling than it does with RDR2, where it's more centered around the gang and the people in it. John's story is very much worth playing, however, because it either enhances your understanding of him in Red Dead Redemption 2 or just gives you a different point of view. It definitely has been a different experience playing Red Dead Redemption after having played Red Dead Redemption 2. It also makes both games their, let's say, most emotional moments be even more difficult to live with. Which brings us to the main question of the video. Should you splash out $50 for this version? If you never played it before and you think that a roughly 30 to 40 hour experience upon beating it on 100% for the first time, which, let's be honest, you really should because of the stranger missions and all the different challenges you can do, would be worth the money, then yes, definitely. I personally think that Red Dead Redemption itself is worth that price tag. As a game that is 13 years old and got re-released like it did, I don't think it's worth the price tag. I hope that makes sense. But this is mostly for those people who have already played it or still own the game. The Xbox version, in my opinion, is still the best way to go about it, so if you have an Xbox system, definitely use that. It runs smoothly and also looks more modern, and also has the ability of playing multiplayer with literally every Xbox system. It also has a much better price of about $30 for the complete edition, and well, you get a lot more bang for your buck because of that exact fact. But if you're in the position where you're not either able to get an older copy of the game on either PS3, Xbox 360 or whatever, or you just simply have neither of those systems, then I guess you don't have much of a choice here. Red Dead Redemption itself is a game that will get you a lot of bang for your buck. It gives you a great story, it gives you a fun experience to get to 100%, and overall there's also Undead Night to also go along with it. I'm not trying to sit here and try to justify the fact that they have slapped a $50 price tag on a game that's 13 years old. That is not worth the price. However, Red Dead Redemption itself is probably worth that money, if that makes any sense. At the end of the day, most of us, if not all of us, are going to be upset about the lack of 60 FPS, PC release, and really the reasonable price for the re-release of the game. But it's still Red Dead Redemption, a game that I can personally replay many times over and still thoroughly enjoy it every single time. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and if you really like what you see on the channel, become a member. Like GTA Plus, Leftlin Looney, Notorious Jam, and Better Chill Out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.